Hey guys, Season 4 is here and these are the best loadouts for Resurgence and Rebirth Island. Of course, you can use these loadouts for other game modes like Plunder and for Verdansk. However, these loadouts are specifically for Resurgence Island and the quads and trios that often comes with them. There is a lot of different options this season. Season 4 is really balanced. I think it's one of the best seasons so far that I've definitely played for Call of Duty. And there's a lot of options. So if you don't see your favorite gun on this list, definitely leave a comment and let me know what else I should be looking at and what else I should be leveling up. There is no particular order for these classes, but these are the 10 best classes for me, and I think there are some really great options for you to get into Rebirth and absolutely start smacking the lobbies. So let's start down at class number 1, which is the Krig and the MP5. The Krig 6 also benefited from the changes to the barrels. It is a really solid beamer, it is great for range, it is great for medium range, and you can set it up in lots of different ways. This is how I've been using it so far: the agency suppressor, the 19.7 Ranger barrel, the field agent grip, the 60 round mag, and the 3x scope. The reason why I've got the 19.7 on here is for the bullet velocity, and you don't get all these minuses that come with the Krig. I think ADS speed is really important for the Krig 6, and I don't really want to sacrifice a front grip here, an underbarrel, and that's because this does have slightly interesting recoil when you first start shooting. So with the field agent grip, this becomes an absolute laser beam. It's great for medium range. I'm pairing this with the Cold War MP5, which is a lot of people's #1 preference at the moment for SMGs, and there's lots of different ways you can build this out. This in particular is movement based, which is really important on Resurgence Island. You can get around the map so quick, you can fly through different areas, and because you're coming back so often, you want to have a high movement gun to rotate around the map. That's why I've gone with this particular build. So I've got the Bruiser grip. This gives movement speed and hipfire accuracy. It's really solid. 50 round drum, nose stock. The reason I've gone with nose stock is this gun, paired with the Bruiser grip, you get good hipfire. You want to get straight into shooting. The actual intense, hectic gameplay of Resurgence Island, if you've got that extra sprint to fire time, it's great. Tiger Team Spotlight, which is a must for all SMGs in my opinion. It is fantastic, giving more movement speed and aim walking movement speed. And then I've gone with the sound suppressor because this gun is really effective under 10 meters. That is where you want to be shooting people rather than focusing on the mid-range. This gives you more bullet velocity, which is great, aim down sight speed, more sprint to fire speed, and sound suppression. So combining all of those together is really great and a fantastic class. I'm using the throwing knife for this because the MP5 can chew through bullets at the heartbeat sensor. And then for all classes on Resurgence, you really want to focus on movement. So I've got double time, overkill, and amped. Now, of course, you want to have a ghost loadout somewhere in your 10 as well. So class number 2, which I think is the meta at the moment, is the MG82. This LMG is new to Season 4, it is new to Warzone, and it is ridiculous. It is a laser beam, it kills super fast, it's got a 100 round mag, it's really versatile, and there's lots of ways you can build it out. I'm only 36 at the moment, so I've still got a few important attachments to unlock, but this thing is still shredding. I've got the suppressor on this. I'm using the cut down barrel. I think this is probably the best early barrel just because it gives ADS firing movement speed and fire movement speed, giving you a bit more versatility with this slow moving weapon. The 3X, because this thing is really great for range. It kills under half a second for range, which is ridiculous. The foregrip for a bit of extra recoil control, and then this thing does ADS quite slow, so I'm using the jungle grip for some aim down sight time, which will be replaced by some of these wraps later. And that's also why I've gone with the suppressor, just to help with the ADS speed, because this thing does ADS quite slow, so if you get caught in a building in Resurgence around those headquarters buildings, you can be at a disadvantage. But this thing is really great and a lot of fun. I'm pairing this with the Fennec. I absolutely love the Fennec. It's super underrated and it is great. It melts people so fast. And the way that I've got it set it up is with the ZLR18 deadfall barrel to give sound suppression. And doing that, getting a barrel which suppresses your gun, saves you an attachment, which is why I've got sleight of hand on. Sleight of hand is great for this because it's only got a 40 round drum, and with the amount of people in Resurgence that are all around you, respawning back on top of you, you need to reload this thing. It does beam, which is why it's still a really great option, but having sleight of hand is fantastic. I've got the 5mm laser to help with the hipfire, and the commando foregrip, again, for some recoil control, because this thing really does kick, but it is a lot of fun, and these two paired together are great. Perks, lethals, tacticals are all the same. My next class, another new weapon, the C58, is actually so much fun, and it is, I think, definitely the best AR right now for long range in terms of time to kill and recoil control. It really is great fun, and I'm glad that they've added another rifle that shoots slow, requires precision and skill to use, and this thing is going to be, I think, very popular as people start figuring out the meta. We've got the suppressor on this, the reinforced heavy barrel, as I haven't unlocked these later barrels yet. However, this thing is still melting, and there's a video coming out tomorrow that you'll be able to have a look at and see just how effective this is. The foregrip here for the underbarrel, the 45 round drum, and the 3X. This is a ranged gun, so you want to make sure you build it out for range. But again, as I level this up, we'll be able to pop on these attachments and make this gun even better. I'm pairing this up with the PPSH. The PPSH is really great. The buffs that Raven implemented towards the end of last season definitely helped the PPSH, removing that open bolt delay, helping the iron sights, giving a little bit of extra damage. It's really, really fantastic, and this here is a great way to set it out. I've got the sound suppressor, which gives all those benefits as I've said before. The task force barrel, which I think is a must for SMGs, giving you that damage range, bullet velocity, and of course the strafe speed, which is what you want for an SMG. I'm rocking the 55 round drum. You can use the 71 drum, but you do get it slightly slower ADS. However, sometimes it's not really noticeable with this gun because it's got great hip fire. And then I'm using the Raider stock. The Raider stock gives sprint to fire time, aim walking movement speed, and ADS movement speed. This, again, is another really good one because it's not quite as snappy as some of the other SMGs. You can chuck on the Gru Elastic Wrap or the Serpent Grip. You can also rock the Bruiser Grip or the Patrol Grip to give more movement speed as well. I really like the iron sights now, so I don't need to use an optic. I really think this is a fantastic class. These work really well together. And again, perks, lethal this time with the Semtex, and heartbeat sensor as the tactical. The next class I'm going for is the Groza, or the Groza. The Groza got a big buff. It got a damage increase and also some tinkering with some of the multipliers when you're hitting people in the stomach and the chest. And I think this gun is definitely more viable than it used to be. It copped a really hard whack when they nerfed the FFAR just so that this gun wouldn't come in and replace it. It's definitely not what the FFAR was, however you can use it for the same thing. It's a really effective close range. So I'm rocking this with the suppressor. I think the Gru suppressor really slows this gun down when you use that. And that's why I've got the suppressor on here. I'm using the mil-spec barrel. It gives bullet velocity, horizontal recoil control, damage range, and vertical recoil. It really makes this gun more manageable because the recoil is quite high. Using this for close range anyway, so you really focused on getting in people's faces, which is why I've got the Tiger Team Spotlight. I'm using the 60 round drum. You could definitely swap this out for the 45 round drum, and that does give you a bit quicker ADS if you can handle that, but I find having the extra 15 bullets really handy. Then I'm using the KGB pad again for that movement speed that it gives, that bit of strafe that you can get. You can fly around the map with this, and it is quite good for beaming people at medium to close range. I'm pairing this up with the AK74u. This gun continues to just get no love, and I do not understand why. It is really, really awesome. It's a fantastic gun. It's really versatile, and setting it up like this gives you super clean iron sights, which has been a problem for the 74u in the past, and the iron sights were even broken in Season 2, so now it's the complete opposite. It is fantastic. If you chuck the sound suppressor on and the task force barrel, you can see here that it gives this really clean iron sight, this triangle. It's got straight iron sights up here. It's really, really clean. It's fantastic. So using these two together, as I said before, for good movement speed, good ADS, the Tiger Team Spotlight, which you can change out. A really good one to add on this is the KGB Designator because it gives effective damage range and hipfire accuracy. But I'm rocking this just for the movement speed, the 50 round drum, and the skeletal stock, which again gives all those benefits for strafe. This thing is really, really awesome. It's a lot of fun to try out, and it's really reliable. The next class I'm using is the Milano with the Amax, and the Milano is rising at the moment. A lot of people are starting to use this and figuring out that it's pretty fun, and it copped a big buff in the update for Season 4. Lots of things changed with it, including the minimum damage, the maximum damage, the damage range, and with all of those combined, this gun is quite viable now. It definitely shoots really slow, however, it's really reliable. There's no recoil. It really hits hard, so you can definitely use this in close range engagements and fly around the map. The way I've got this set up is the sound suppressor, the task force barrel, and the Tiger Team spotlight, the holy trinity of SMGs. With this one, I'm using the bruiser grip to add a little bit of hip fire, add a little bit more movement speed, because you really want to get close to people with this gun. It does still feel a little bit like shooting rubber bullets if you're shooting people from medium range with this. However, if you get up close and personal, that's where it does its great damage. Using the 55 round drum as well. What you could do is take off that bruiser grip and then go into the stocks, add the Raider stock. That gives you all those great benefits. However, I really prefer it with the bruiser grip. You can definitely tinker around with this. Pairing this up with the Amax, even though the Amax has copped nerf after nerf after nerf, it is still a really solid rifle. It's really fun to use, and it's really reliable as well. You do definitely want to aim for people in the chest and the head, because they have nerfed so many different multipliers with this thing, but it still hits really hard medium to long range. So I'm using the meta setup that so many people have gone over before. It's the monolithic, the Zodiac, VLK, Commando foregrip, or the 45 round mag. Another really great way to use the Amax though, if you want to use this for close range, get rid of this barrel, chuck on the tack laser, get rid of the optic, and then chuck on a rear grip for some aim down sight speed, or put on the little barrel, and then you can use this like an SMG, and it is quite a lot of fun still. So the Amax, even though it's been nerfed, it is still a lot of fun using that meta setup, and a really reliable pairing for the Milano. My next class is specific for Resurgence, and you can change out the gun that you use depending on your preference. The Grow is a really good one for this. This is a regain or help class, and the reason I've got this is because Resurgence is so hectic. You can get so close to the end and cop an unlucky shot or an unlucky circle and spawn in with a terrible SMG with no bullets, no nothing, in an unfortunate spot. With this class, Regain, if you've still got a loadout, this can put you in a great position to not only help your team, but help yourself get back into the fight. You might be able to take someone down and grab their guns, but I'm using a Kilo here with fully loaded in particular. Now, if you don't know what that is, fully loaded brings back all of your ammo, so you start right in a great spot. That, I feel like, is a fantastic thing for Resurgence, because ammo then you can share out with your teammates who are respawning as well and be right in the fight again. I'm using the monolithic suppressor, the Singard 19.8 barrel, the Commando foregrip, the 50 round mag. You can chuck on the 60 round mag. It is complete preference, and then fully loaded as well. So fully loaded gets you back into the fight. I'm pairing this up with the Sykov. The Sykov is still a really great option for a secondary. It kills super fast. However, I prefer to use it just singular. So I'm using the monolithic suppressor, the fully automatic barrel, the tack laser, the 80 round drum, and then the Priz rack, which gives aim, down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. This is a great comeback class, so I've also got EOD on here just in case you need to survive some explosions or people shooting loadouts with grenades, whatever it might be. Ghost, and then Amped eventually when you change out the Sykov for a gun that you pick up off the ground. So this Regain class is really good. You can use it to get back in the fight. As I said, you could use a Growl, you could use another fully loaded weapon. It's complete preference. My next class is a Ghost class that you can also use really to push fights and get in the action if you want to grab Ghost right off the rip. I think the Mac10 is absolutely fantastic still. It is a great SMG, and it is really versatile in how you can build it out. I like to go with the Movement Mac10. This is the sound suppressor, the Tiger Team spotlight, the patrol grip, the 50 round drum, and the Raider stock. The reason why I've left a barrel off here is because I want as much movement speed as possible. So I've added the patrol grip on here. The patrol grip just gives you sprint move speed, so you fly around the map with this build. It is absolutely ridiculous how fast you go. You can definitely take this off and add that Holy Trinity Task Force barrel to give you the 3 that really work well. However, because I'm rocking Ghost, I really want to move as fast as I can and rotate without people knowing where I'm going. I'm pairing this up with the M19s. The M19, if you can get this akimbo, is absolutely ridiculous. It's the fastest TTK for pistols. I'm nearly there. I think I've got 1 to go to get this. I'm using the monolithic suppressor, the 5mm laser for better hip fire once I get that akimbo, lightweight trigger, and then the 32 round mags. This thing absolutely slaps. Once you get it akimbo, it is great to use. Pair it up with the Mac10. And because the floor loot this season is so good, you might even be able to pick up an AR like a Fara or a C58 or something else that's lying around like a Krig, and pair that up and have Ghost right off the rip. My next class that I'm going with is the Fara paired up with the nail gun. I'm going to start with the nail gun here because there's not a lot to explain about this gun. The nail gun has no attachments. It is a special weapon, and it is special, alright. It absolutely beams. You can 2-tap someone in the head, I believe, if you hit both headshots. You can wipe a squad with 20 bullets, which is all you've got. But this thing is so much fun. It is really fast. The reload is quite good. You've got good movement speed with it, and it's got quite good bullet velocity. So this thing is crazy at the moment. I expect they'll probably nerf this. You can unlock this in Cold War with special weapon kills, or you can just purchase the bundle, which is what I did. It's well worth it. It is a load of fun. And pairing this up with a great ranged option, which I personally think is the best long-range option right now, other than the C58, it is the Fara. The Fara you can build in different ways as well, and this is the one I'm going with at the moment. The Groza suppressor for that best effective damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, and sound suppression. You don't really need to worry about the ADS penalty because this thing does ADS quite quickly. It's quite reliable. I'm using the Liberator barrel, however, with the Spetsnaz RPK barrel, it's also great. There is little to no recoil with this setup. If I was rocking this, I definitely want something on my rear grip to help the ADS speed, because with the Liberator barrel, you don't get the ADS penalty. So that's why I've gone with that instead of the final barrel. I'm using the Spetsnaz grip for even more recoil control, and then the 60 round mag with the 3X. This thing is incredible. I feel like it is one of the strongest weapons in the game right now, and it gives you kilo vibes with probably a little bit of extra damage. It is fantastic. Absolutely awesome weapon to try. Really great that they keep buffing this gun because I really enjoy using it. The reload is quite slow, so it does have its drawbacks, but I think this is well worth using and checking out. The second last class we're looking at is one that dominated Season 3. It is still a great option as well at the moment. It is a real great beamer. Lots of damage, lots of versatility in how you build this out. The AK47 Cold War, I think, is one of the strongest, most reliable guns. It is more of a high skill weapon because it does have still a lot of recoil, a lot of kick, and it does fire quite slow, so it's unforgiving if you miss your shots. So for that reason, I'm rocking a Microflex. I really hate the AK47 iron sights. I've hated them through every Call of Duty game, every game. I just cannot use them for whatever reason. So I'm rocking a Microflex on this. I'm running the suppressor. I'm using the Spetsnaz RPK barrel for as much recoil control as I can get. And then I'm using the Spetsnaz grip for even more recoil control, and the 45 round mag. These two here reduce that aim down sight time, so you can rock this Spetsnaz RPK barrel. It is really fantastic for medium range, close range. You can also build this out in different ways. You can take off the Microflex if you can handle the iron sights, chuck on the Tiger Team for a bit of movement speed. You could definitely get rid of this grip as well if you can handle the recoil. Chuck on the skeletal stock for more movement speed and better strafe speed. So there's lots of different ways that you can build this out. I personally prefer the Microflex on here because it does help me hit my shots. I'm pairing this up with, I think, the best SMG in the game right now, the LC10. There's really no reason not to use it, just because of how reliable and how fantastic it is. I'm running this in an interesting way because I feel like this gun works in so many different ways. You could build it out I run the sound suppressor. Again, for this gun, it's got such good range that you could put the agency suppressor on this. However, I like the sound suppressor because of that ADS speed. The task force barrel, this thing has no recoil. There is no reason not to use the task force barrel for all of these positives. I'm running the patrol grip, again for that sprinting movement speed. You could change this to the bruiser grip. However, I really like the hipfire of this gun already. And this thing is a hipfire machine because it does the same damage to the tummy and to the chest, and it's got good damage to the extremities as well. So if you hipfire the first couple of shots as you ADS, your enemy is already at a huge disadvantage. However, I'm really using this for ADS speed, so that's why I've got the Serpent Wrap on it. You can chuck the Jungle Grip on it as well, or the Airborne Elastic, all really great options. You can chuck on the Raider Stock, great option as well. You can chuck on the Tiger Team Spotlight, another great option. And I think the 55 round mag is the best choice. So the LC10 is one of the most versatile, best guns in the game. I feel like if you are a beginner in this game, you're coming into Resurgence new, you want to focus on unlocking and leveling the LC10 as quickly as you can because it is great. You can pair it with any primary weapon, use it as a primary. It is a fantastic option for you. The final class that we're looking at is two of the strongest weapons also in the game. We've seen just how good the Ram is. The Ram is even better now that the Amax has been nerfed. The Ram can also be used in lots of different ways, but this is the range Ram, and it is the same setup that we've been seeing for a long time. We've seen guys like Tfue and Symphony absolutely destroy with this. The monolithic suppressor, the long ranger barrel, the commando foregrip, 50 round mag, and the VLK. The best thing about the Ram is that it is a fast firing gun, so it just packs on the pressure straight away. If you mount the Ram, it also has zero recoil, like literally none. So that's another great tip if you can find a good spot to mount. And I'm pairing this up with the Bullfrog. The Bullfrog is fantastic. It is, again, another versatile SMG that can be used in lots of different ways. It's got good range, it's got really low recoil, it's got great hip fire, it's got incredible movement speed, it's got good ADS, and the iron sight's also got a buff this season, so that's really great as well. The sound suppressor is fantastic for this gun. You can use the Groza suppressor to give you that effective damage range if you want to, but I prefer the sound suppressor. Again, the task force, because this thing does not have any recoil and it gives great benefits. I'm running the 85 round fast mag for Resurgence because, again, you just never know how many people are respawning back on top of you. I'm using the bruiser grip for better movement speed, better hip fire, and then the skeletal stock. Again, you could take this ammunition off if you want to use the 50 rounds, chuck on the Tiger Team Spotlight or a rear grip to give you some better ADS, but I like running the 85 round mag just because it gives you a huge advantage. So there we go, 10 fantastic loadouts for you to use on Rebirth Island and slay your opposition. And of course, there's so many guns on here that I haven't put on. You might notice that I haven't included any snipers because I'm not the best sniper, and I feel like Resurgence is not really a sniping map at the best of times. Sometimes you have to be a pretty cracked player to be smacking people out of the air as they come in. But there's lots of other options. We didn't even mention the FFAR, which is solid. We didn't mention the ASVAL, which is really solid. We didn't talk about the M4, which is really solid. Of course, there's the M13, which a lot of people really love. The Grau, which people use for fully loaded. There's lots of other great SMGs still available for you to use, such as the MP5 from Modern Warfare. The Uzi is really solid at the moment. The AUG copter buff. The MP7 is good. And of course, you can go and have a look more at the tactical rifles because they buffed the DMR as well. And of course, if you want to check out the Pellington and the Swiss and the Kar 98, there's so many things to use. Warzone is in an absolutely fantastic state, so I hope you can find something to use and go out there and dominate the battlefield. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found a class that you can use. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Catch you on the next one.